Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sarah and I thought it would be fun to start out this month with another random number generator chooses the amount of pages I read for the week. So I am going to do this like I did the last time where I get all my page numbers now and have that as my goal for each day. So I'm going to take screenshots of everything. I'm going to set my number generator between 50 and 200 I think this time and see what I get. I think it would be a lot of fun. I'm not going to do my TBR jar for this one, but I am going to be focusing on my sisters and my winter binger bingo. And the first book that I am reading for that is A Fadington Blood. I read the first chapter of this book yesterday on December 1st and have read more of it this morning. I'm up to I think chapter 7, so I'm like 67 or 68 pages in, right around there, and so excited to continue this. I'm really intrigued by the magic system and the influence of the gods in this book, and I'm really enjoying this already, and so I can't wait to dive back in. So I am going to go ahead and figure out what the page numbers I'm going to read for the day are. I'm really nervous because this isn't always very nice and I have crazy things going, but I wanted to do this with my kids going back to school for a couple full weeks before Christmas break. I thought this would be the time to do it because once Christmas break hits, things are going to go crazy. So I have it set between 50 and 200. All right. So this is for today, Monday, December 2nd, and we'll be reading 108 pages today. So I'd say that's a pretty good start, and I think that'll be pretty easy to exceed today. All right, so Tuesday, I will be reading 143 pages. Wednesday, 103. Thursday, do 120. Friday, 143. Saturday, 158. Sunday, 191. That's going to be interesting. And next Monday to finish things off, 59. Okay, that's a good way to finish it off. At least then I can play catch up where I probably need to after the weekend. So I'm going to put all this down in my journal for this month. And today, since that's what we got, we will be reading 108 pages in A Fate Inked in Blood. So my plan for this is I am going to start with the books that are on my TBR for this winter binger bingo and see how many of these I can get through this week. If I am able to get through everything, then I will have footage of me throwing knives once again to be able to choose more prompts. So if you haven't heard me talk about this from my December TBR, I will link that video down in the description as well. But my sister and I are doing a bingo board that is a 6x6 bingo board, 8 of which are movies, and the rest are all book prompts that her and I came up with to try and read books this month. So what we're doing for this is every bingo that you get, you can earn a book. So every bingo you get, you can buy a book. And I want to try and read as many books on my physical TBR as possible for this. And so my December and January TBR game where I throw knives at a box to choose my prompts will be based solely around the prompts that her and I came up with for this bingo board. It runs from yesterday, December 1st until January 31st, just to try and read some books that we have on our TBRs and just have some fun with the holiday season. So this is my first one that I have for the prompt, The Wildlings, which is a book with Viking or Norse inspired elements to it, and so I chose this one. I was debating on this one or Fury of the Gods by John Gwynne, and I was just so excited to read this book that I had to choose this one, and I'm really glad that I did so far. So I will be reading 108 pages in this today, and I will update you once I have a little bit more to say about that. Okay guys, so it is now 12:42 and I have a little bit of an update for you. I am halfway through my pages, or right about. I have read 53 pages since I filmed my opening clip. So I have about 55 left to go, and I am up to chapter 13 now in A Fate Inked in Blood. I can get it turned the right way. There we go. Fate Inked in Blood, which, by the way, I absolutely love this. Like, it's so pretty. This light powdery blue. Very wintry feeling. And I wanted to come on and update you. So this book is following Freya, and she starts out this book in an awful, awful marriage. Her husband is a jerk, and he is condescending. He has just a drop of God's blood in him that allows him to catch a lot of fish, basically. He's a good fisherman. He's a fishing god, blessed him. And she's in this awful marriage and wishes that he would just die, and that way she could just move on with her life. She always wanted to be a warrior and fight. And that was, you know, what she always wanted to do. So she ends up meeting this guy after her husband was just a total jerk and doesn't know who he is, but he just shows up on the beach one day and she talks to him and they kind of just have some really fun banter. Well, she's taking fish to her mother later that day, and come to find out, her husband has outed her as having a drop of God's blood in her as well. It is a god, Hlyn, or Hrin, something like that. That is the shield god, or goddess, I should say. A shield goddess, and is a warrior goddess, and there is a prophecy that she is the shield maiden, and her destiny and her name will be forged from fire, and that she will basically bring power and a united front to the land. But of course, any kind of a united front leads to war. And so her husband having outed her, she ends up getting out of that marriage because he's basically sold her off by telling her secret to the Jarl. And the Jarl says that he's going to marry her so that way he has control over her, and that way he can fulfill this prophecy and become king of the lands. So she ends up getting out of one bad marriage and then forced into a whole nother marriage that she didn't want to be a part of. And now it's things happening that there's magic involved with this shield goddess as well as other gods. There's people that are raiding the lands trying to get her and either steal her or kill her. That's undecided. And she has had to have this man that she actually met on the beach. It turns out that he is the Jarl's son and heir. And so now she is having to be around him all the time, and he's having to train her to be a warrior and to basically fight for herself and fend for herself. So it's been kind of a mess, and I, so far, am really enjoying this. I love the writing style. It's really, really easy to read and process and get through. And I really, really love the magic. I love that there's all these different gods and goddesses that they can try and, that certain people can invoke. There's one called Ein, I think is what she's called, that she's a healing goddess. There's Tyr, who is a fire god, and it's just been really, really interesting, and I'm really enjoying it. So I'm absolutely loving that aspect of it. It definitely has the Nordic vibes in there, with it being just icy water and snowy and stuff like that. And I'm just really enjoying it. So I'm really having a great time with this. So I'm going to continue reading, so stay tuned. Okay guys, so the lighting in here is not great and I apologize, but I am sitting in the school parking lot right now and I wanted to come on and update you. So yesterday I was supposed to read 108 pages and I did that. I surpassed that. So I was reading A Fate Inked in Blood and I am officially a little over halfway. I am up to chapter 21, which is 236 pages into this book, and I am absolutely loving it so much. For some reason, I had it in my head last night that the second book was already out, and I was so bummed to go on to Amazon and realize that it doesn't come out for another 6 months, which really, really sucks. But I am absolutely loving this book so far. And I think the magic system is really interesting. I love the world. It just has that atmosphere that it's up north, and you definitely have that, and I really love that in my books. My husband got me hooked on the Viking Nordic type style of fantasies, and I'm so incredibly hooked on them now. So I am up to there. I read one chapter this morning. It was like 12 pages long, so I have gotten a little bit of a start on my pages for today, but not much. So my goal today was to read 143 pages, but I am, if I have the opportunity, I am going to try and finish this book today. If not, I will finish it tomorrow. So I am supposed to read 143 pages today. I have already read, like I said, one chapter, which was like 12 pages. So if you figure 143 minus the 12, I have about 131 pages left to read today. But it is already 9:30 and my kids have a dentist appointment this morning. And then I might go into Barnes & Noble because I got to thinking this morning that I don't really have any books with an Arctic animal on the cover for that prompt. And my thinking is that, of course, as soon as I don't have a book figured out for that one specifically, I'm having a really hard time with it, that's going to be the first one I get on my next throw. Guaranteed. So I'm gonna go and poke around at Barnes, I think, here after their appointment, and see what I can find, if anything. I did find one on Goodreads that caught my eye. That's called Any Trope But You by Victoria Levine. This one right here, and it has a moose on the cover, and it's wintry, which would be absolutely perfect, until I realized that the expected publication for that book is not until April 1st of 2025. So that one doesn't do me any good. It sounds really cute, and I'm definitely interested, but that doesn't help me at all with this prompt. So I am gonna poke around a little bit, I think, and see what I can find. I'm looking for just kind of a cute romance or just a cool, like a good fantasy book. I just don't want to get too many fantasy books that I'm planning for this TBR, but at the same time, with reading A Fate Inked in Blood right now, I'm absolutely loving it. So I'm super into that right now. I also have a huge order coming from Book Outlet that my husband got for me for their Black Friday deals. They had a big sale going on. I think it actually ends today, that they had their books for $5.99. And so I got a whole bunch of books through that. And I looked at the covers of those books and none of those are going to fit. So I need to do a little bit, I wouldn't say, I guess, not damage control, but I need to go in and kind of poke around, see if I can't get some ideas. I might buy it today, or I might just hold off and get it off of Amazon instead, because I do have Amazon gift cards that I can use, and Amazon is usually cheaper than Barnes & Noble, let's be honest. So I don't know. I haven't decided yet, but I think I'm going to go in and poke around there if I have time this afternoon. I do have some Christmas presents that I need to order for my husband. Either way, I wanted to come on and update you. Like I said, I have 143 pages that I need to read today. I read one chapter. If I don't finish my pages today, I will definitely finish those tomorrow because I'm going to be at the house tomorrow. I'm not running a bunch of errands, but I'm going to see what I could do today. I'm going to try and finish A Fate Inked in Blood, and then I'm going to be really, really bummed out over the fact that I cannot get the second book yet. So anyways, I will check back in with you later when I have some more updates, when I've actually done some reading. And so yeah, I will talk to you later. Good morning, guys. Happy Wednesday. So it's now the 4th of December, and I did not get my reading done. I had a feeling that I wasn't going to. I just had too many things I was trying to get done. So I ended up reading a total of 42 pages out of 143 yesterday. So I will be adding that on to today. Today's number is 103 pages. So that means I will be reading 204 pages today. And I think that's totally doable. So that means this is a Fate Inked in Blood. You can't see that very well, but I am still reading A Fate Inked in Blood. I will be finishing this book off today, and I will be starting another one. Still loving this. I just didn't have as much of an opportunity to read yesterday as I wanted to, and I was just exhausted last night, so I didn't stay up reading as late as I normally would have. But I am still really enjoying it. I am up to chapter 24. On page 267. So I will be, like I said, finishing this off today, and then I will be picking something else up. So I'm going to get to reading, and I will need to edit my 25 for 2025 video. I need to get that edited and posted today for tomorrow. And that's really the main thing that I have planned, but I'm going to wait until my daughter takes a nap to start editing, because it just makes it so much easier. So I will be doing that today. And so yeah, I'm going to get to reading, turn on some YouTube or a movie, and I will check back in with you later on. Good morning. It is now Thursday, December 5th, and my goal yesterday was to read, well, I had 103 pages, and then I had to add on more. So it ended up being, was it like 204? I had to add on like 101 pages. So I was supposed to read 204 pages yesterday. I ended up reading 178 pages. So I ended up reading 178 pages yesterday out of the 204. So I will have to add on that 26 pages to today's, which is not a big deal at all. So the amount of pages that I need to read today is 120. You add 26 pages to that, so I'll have to read 146 pages for today to meet my goal. Sorry, off to a little bit of a rocky start because I am exhausted. My daughter didn't sleep very good last night, and I've been up since 4:30. So it is now 7:18, and so I have 146 pages to read today. I did finish A Fate Inked in Blood yesterday, and I absolutely loved this. I gave it 5 stars. I was so intrigued. I have said this multiple times, but I love the magic system throughout. I liked the characters. I liked the discoveries that she was having to make. Throughout this entire book, our main character, Freya, is having to come to terms with the fact that basically everybody in her life is using her in order to move themselves forward, and she comes to a point where she has to say, well, am I going to let you do this, or am I going to start living for myself? So, and that includes her mother and her brother and her best friend, which is really messed up, but that's just how it goes. So I am very excited to get the second book when it comes out in May. I think it's like the beginning of May. Either way, it's like 6 months from now, which is really, really sucky. But I am excited to pick it up, and I will be picking it up, absolutely. And so yeah, I really enjoyed this book. I gave it 5 stars. I also started last night to at least try and get more of my pages out of the way. I started The Santa Suit by Mary Kay Andrews. This one is just a short little like 200-page book that I think is going to be kind of a little bit of romance, a little bit of a cozy mystery, and just festive. And so it's basically that we're following our main character, what was her name? Ivy Perkins, who buys an old farmhouse in, I think it's like the Carolinas or something like that. She moves from a big city to a really, really small town, moves into this farmhouse with some land, and it's a fixer-upper. It's an old rundown farmhouse, and is going to need a lot of work, but she's getting divorced, so she got settlements from that and decided that she was going to buy this old house. And when she is cleaning out the closet, she finds a Santa suit. And in this pocket of the Santa suit from the previous owners that was left behind, there's a note from a little girl who wrote a letter to Santa asking him to bring her daddy home from the war. And they believe it's from Vietnam. And so now she's kind of looking into this and wanting to figure out what happened to this little girl and if her father ever actually came home. So it reads really quickly. I ended up reading up to chapter 4, which was the first like 30 pages in this book last night. I have since read a couple more chapters. So I have read a little bit so far this morning, but not a lot. I think I've read like 17 pages this morning. But so far it jumps right into it. There's not a lot of setup, there's not a lot of build up. It's just her moving into this old house. She's kind of slowly making friends with her real estate agent Ezra, which is why I think there's going to be just a little bit of a romance. Come to find out, he is actually her neighbor as well. And it's just that small town charm that, you know, neighbors helping each other out. She's taking on this humongous project all by herself with nobody around, nobody that she knows, and he's just trying to be friendly and help her out, because she did also buy this house sight unseen. So there's a lot more to it that needs work than she expected, and keeps mentioning that she just like sees the dollar signs, basically, that she sees how much it's going to end up costing, which anybody who has an old house, I mean, you have to go into it knowing you're going to be spending some money. So I don't know why she didn't plan for all the extra little things, but whatever, it's a book. As of right now, it's fine. It's not the best book that I've ever read, but there's no like outright issues with it. So I'm going to keep reading this one today. I put little tabs in here. You probably cannot see them, but I put little tabs in here. This is where I started, and this is where I need to get to. So it's basically going to be reading this book in its entirety today with meeting my goal, which I don't think will be difficult. This book is 207 pages long, so I really don't think that would be an issue reading this book in its entirety. And I would really like to be able to start in on my next one as well and get a book started before the chaos of Friday, the chaos of the weekend, and actually be able to be into something. But honestly, Fate Inked in Blood was the one I was most intimidated by, other than I think Wolf Winter for this month. And I finished this and I loved this. So this one I think is going to just be short and sweet and get me another prompt done for our winter binger bingo. So I'm going to read some more of this, and I will check back in with you later on today when I have a little bit more to say about this book and just a little bit more of an update for you on my pages. Okay guys, so I am back with an update for you this afternoon. It is 12:30 and I have read 177 pages so far, and I just finished The Santa Suit by Mary Kay Andrews. I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to rate this yet, but this book is following Ivy, and she buys an old house after she gets divorced, and she moves in knowing that it's going to need some work, and ends up kind of making friends with her real estate agent Ezra and a handful of other people around the town along the way. And her first day there, when she's moving in her clothes, she finds in the closet a Santa suit that has been left behind by the prior owners. And in the pocket of that Santa suit, she finds a note from a little girl named Carlette, who was asking Santa to bring her daddy home from the war, the Vietnam War. And so she kind of goes on this wild goose chase, basically, to try and find out who Carlette was and what happened with her and her family and what happened to her dad. And that leads her to meeting her new friend Phoebe, who works at the courthouse, and leads her to meeting Lawrence, who is a 96-year-old man who lives, who turns out to be Carlette's grandfather, but he's lost touch with his daughter and granddaughter some years ago. This book was really, really cute. It is a quick, Christmassy, fast-paced read, just small town. I wouldn't say this is quite a cozy mystery exactly. I mean, it kind of is, but I think it's more of like a literary fiction, just kind of a glimpse into the lives of these people in this small town and what happens over that holiday, basically, after she buys this house. And so it was more of like a literary fiction, I think, than a mystery. There's a little bit of romance in there. And basically it's just kind of like a slice of life look into what happens with trying to track down this family and her starting a new life for herself in this little town in North Carolina. And I thought it was really cute. I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to rate it yet, but I really enjoyed it. And it was a really quick read. I mean, it's 12:30 and I've already finished with it. So it was a really quick read, but it was really cute. And I tried to film my reaction. I missed the initial shock value at the end, before I could get my camera out because I wasn't expecting it. But I did film a little bit of my reaction to the end of the book. I felt like the romance was cute, but it felt like it was just like snap your fingers and there they are. It's a romantic relationship. So it didn't seem like it was like a progression thing. It was just very clipped. It was very fast. I liked the friends that she made. I really liked Lawrence. He is the sweetest old man, and his character reminded me a lot of like in the movie The Holiday, Kate Winslet, when she goes to California, she has an old man living next door named Arthur, and he worked in the movie industry. And he's the sweetest old man, and he just kind of is always there, and she becomes friends with him. And that's kind of how Lawrence felt to me, was like Arthur from The Holiday. And the only connection with that movie, but that's just kind of what it made me think of, because Arthur, I think, is my favorite character, one of my favorite characters in that movie. But it was really sweet, and it had me surprised, and it had me smiling, and that's exactly what a short, quick Christmas type book is for. I mean, honestly, that's what I'd be looking for just a cute little Christmas book like this. So I am really enjoying it. I think it's going to be like a 3.5 to 4 stars. I haven't put it into Copilot yet. I just wanted to get on here and update you, let you know that I did finish it. And I have officially finished my reading for today and surpassed it, because I am up at 177 pages, but I still have half the day to go. So now I need to decide whether I want to read The Christmas Pig by J.K. Rowling, which is very tempting, The Last Christmas in Paris by Hannah Gaynor and Heather Webb, I think is the name, but I can't remember if that's right or not. Or if I want to try to start Wolf Winter. I'm not entirely sure, but those are the 3 that I have left. I'm already partway through my TBR, guys. It is only the 5th of December, and I've already finished 2 books on my TBR, watched one of the movies yesterday while I was editing my other video that went up this morning, and my 25 books for 2025. And so like I'm on a roll with this, and that's exactly why I wanted to do this kind of a challenge for reading my books on my TBR for this winter binger bingo and for this little readathon. I thought it would be a great way to knock out some books and hopefully be able to choose some new ones by the end of this video. That would be fantastic. I don't know if I'm going to include it in this video or if I'm going to do like a separate video where I'm choosing more books for December. I haven't fully decided yet, but either way, I think it's definitely very, very possible for me to do that, because it is only Thursday. Now, the weekend's going to get kind of crazy, but I am giving myself, obviously, if I have to, like my last day for my reading, my random number generator, my last day is on Monday. So it does give me Tuesday and Wednesday to be able to finish any pages I don't finish over the weekend before I want to get this uploaded for Thursday morning, which is kind of why I set it up that way. I did it the last time and it worked out really, really well for me. And so I thought I would do that again. That way, if I have any extra pages I need to add on from this weekend, because I had high numbers all weekend. And so if I have any numbers that I need to add on after Monday, then I can do that. But either way, I'm going to wrap this up for at least the time being and decide what I'm going to read next. But I did finish this one and I thought it was really cute. I don't know if I'll keep this one or not. I might just pass this one along because I think this is kind of one of those that, like, you read it, you experience it, you have a good time, and then, like, you can't really have that same experience over again. And so I don't know if I'm going to hold on to this one or not. I might pass it along to someone else who might enjoy it. But either way, I had a good time and I'm really glad that I read it. So I will figure out what I'm going to read next and I will come back in and check with you after I figure that out, I guess. Hey guys, so I wanted to come on and give you one last update for today. This is probably where I'm going to sign off for today, for Thursday. I ended up starting Last Christmas in Paris. This is by Hazel Gaynor and Heather Webb, not Hannah. I don't know why I thought that was their name, but I started reading this afternoon. I am up to 84 pages into it right now, and what I didn't realize going into this book was that this book is entirely letters. There is like little snippets that are an actual like futuristic storyline that takes place in 1968 in December. And that is from one of our main characters, Tom, his perspective as an older gentleman. And other than that, it's all in letters. So we're following letters in this book. It is in 1915 right now, and it's letters going back and forth between Evie, her brother Will, and Will's best friend Tom. And Will and Tom are soldiers, and Evie is at home, and they are just corresponding back and forth about the happenings of everyday life and the war at this time. And so far, not a whole lot has happened. It's been extremely, extremely slow. They talked about Christmas and how for the guys, everything just kind of stopped for the day. There was like a ceasefire for the day for Christmas, and they all like stopped everything and had, you know, a snack or whatever, and that was it. That was their Christmas. And then she was talking about how things were just not the same because everybody was gone, and how at home, like, nobody wants to mention the war. They don't want to use that terminology. They don't want to talk about it. So it's just like, over there, how are they doing? You know, that kind of a thing. And now she's trying to figure out how she can be involved. And so she's gotten a job with the post office. She's learned how to ride a bicycle, and so she's gotten a job with the post office so she can start delivering letters, because she knows how much that matters to her during this time. And so yeah, that's where we're at. Like I said, not a whole lot has happened with this book so far. It's been extremely slow, but it has it's read really fast. Like, obviously I'm 84 pages into it, and it reads really quickly because it's all correspondence. So I am going to continue reading this tonight. I don't know how much reading I'm going to get done once everybody's home. I'm currently sitting at the bus stop waiting for my boys. But it is 4:51 right now, and I wanted to come on and update you because I have officially read 257 pages today. So I've read quite a bit as of right now, and usually I get more reading done like after everybody goes to bed. So the rest of the plan for this evening is obviously picking up the boys, and then we're gonna get back to the house and I'm going to start making dinner. I'm gonna make scalloped potatoes and ham, a recipe that I got from my mom. That's one of our favorites. It's just super good, super cheesy. And so yeah, that's kind of my plan for tonight, and then just reading and relaxing tonight with everybody once they get home. So I have a couple of orders that I'm watching. I placed an order on Book Outlet with their Black Friday sale. All the books were $5.99 or on sale for $5.99, so I got a ton of books that way. With my husband, he was laughing at me because I found a whole bunch of books that I wanted. And then I also have an Amazon order coming as well. So those should be here in the next couple of weeks. Probably after this video is already posted, but I am really excited for all the books I'm going to be getting for that. I really thought about DNFing this book like 30 pages, 40 pages into it, but I was like, you know what? This is what I have slotted in for right here. It's the only time I'm going to read this, being a Christmas book. And so I'm just going to try and just hunker down and read it, and hopefully it ends up being a good one at the end. I don't know. It's definitely serious. Obviously it's historical fiction, but it's been really slow, and I just haven't really been in that historical fiction mode. So right now it's not sitting at a favorite, that's for sure, but it's not a bad book either. It's written well, and there's definitely the correspondence, and you can like picture who's who for the most part. But it also, and it's nice because like it says the letter is like from Evie to Tom, and those two have really gotten quite a connection through their letters. They've become quite the pen pals, keeping each other up to date. Her brother Will doesn't like to sit down and write a letter, so he doesn't write as often, but her and Tom have really started forming a really great friendship and a really great relationship with each other through these letters. So like I said, I'm going to keep reading that tonight when I have time, and I will check back in with you tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be an interesting day. I have quite a few pages I need to read if I remember right. Let me look. I have screenshots of all of it because I cannot remember it off the top of my head. So yeah, tomorrow I have to read 143 pages. So we'll see how that goes, because I do have more errands that I need to run tomorrow. I need to go and pay bills at the beginning of the month. Bills and all that jazz. So we'll see what I get done reading wise tomorrow, but I'm gonna see what my page count gets up to today, because I figured 257, that's pretty damn good for today. And so we'll see what I end up at, and then I can give you a final count. I want to do like a final tally of many pages and how many books I've actually read for this vlog. I think that's kind of fun, just to kind of see what I read in a week when I actually hunker down and try and set myself a goal. So anyways, I'm going to sign off for it now because the bus should be here any minute, but I will check back in with you tomorrow. Like I said, 143 pages. We'll see how it goes.
Good morning, guys. So it is 5:26 right now on Thursday. It is Friday. It's December 6th, and I wanted to kind of check in with you for the day. So last night I was telling you that I had started Last Christmas in Paris. I made it up to 105 pages in this. I ended up reading, so yesterday my total of number of pages ended up being 282 pages. So it's quite a bit. Very proud of that. But I have decided with Last Christmas in Paris that I am going to DNF this, because I'm 100 pages in and I have no connection to these characters. It's very dry and I'm just not enjoying it. So this book, I was telling you a little bit about it last night, that this book is made up entirely of correspondence back and forth between multiple different people between World War I front lines and back home somewhere. And mainly it's between Evie and Tom Harding. And Evie's brother Will is Tom Harding's best friend, and so they enlist together and they go off to war together. Evie corresponds with both her brother and Tom, and it's mostly been a lot of writing back and forth between her and Tom, because Tom doesn't mind writing letters, whereas her brother Will doesn't want to sit down and take the time to write, kind of thing. He's not much for writing letters. So there's been a lot of correspondence between them and talking about things that are going on back home, like having their horses taken to help the cause in the war, and oh yeah, they're in London, that's right. Or yeah, somewhere in England. And so yeah, anyways, it's very dry and I'm not really enjoying my time with it. It reads really quickly because it is all letters, but I just don't really want to pick it back up again. And to be honest, like, I'm on a high from A Fate Inked in Blood, and so I want more of that. I want more like that. So I am going to DNF this one, and I'm still going to use this Yule Ball prompt because I'm going to swap it out for one that I'm extremely excited for. I actually had to text my sister last night and I said, do you think that this one is set in a different era? And she sent me a note back saying, I don't know anything about it, but I own it. And then she said that she looked it up, and yes, she thinks that it's set in a different era, so it will count. And the book that I'm going to choose to do for my Yule Ball prompt in replacement of Last Christmas in Paris will be Heartless Hunter by Kristen Ciccarelli. I am so excited to try this book. I've heard so much hype for this book, and it sounds so good. I don't really even know that much about it. Honestly, all I know is that it's witch and witch hunter. But it does have mentions in the synopsis that she is a vapid young socialite and spends her nights as the Crimson Moth, a witch vigilante who rescues her kind from being purged. And then it says further on in the synopsis that he loathes the decadence and superficiality she represents, but when he learns that the Crimson Moth has been using his merchant ships to smuggle renegade witches out of the Republic, he inserts himself into her social circle by pretending to court her. So that gave off like another era vibes to me because, you know, this day and age, you don't have socialites, and not like, you know, you did back in like the 1900s. It's more like the socialites and the courting and stuff like that. It's not like that now. So it sounds like it's going to be set in a different era, and technically, because this is between me and my sister, I did get the green light from her that she says that it would count. So I'm going to start Heartless Hunter today instead, and hopefully I will enjoy it. I'm so excited to read this book. Like I said, it was one of those things, I heard so much hype for it. I've heard really great things about it. I think it was, no, sorry, that was Divine Rivals that I was thinking of. But I've heard a lot of hype for this book, and I'm really, really excited to try it out. And since I am on that high from Fate Inked in Blood and enjoying my time with that one so much, I want to kind of stick with that and stick with the fantasy thing and just kind of be able to binge those. You know, I have so many fantasy books that I've been putting off quite a bit this year, and so I'm gonna start another series, and so I'm gonna start Heartless Hunter today. So anyway, sorry, it is 5:30. My daughter didn't sleep very good last night, and I'm so tired, so I'm still half asleep right now, but I wanted to come on and update you before everything goes haywire this morning, as it usually does. So today my number generator gave us 143 pages, and wow, that was really big. Look at these size of these page numbers, like they look giant. Okay, okay, so that's perfect. So there's page 143 right there. It's the end of a chapter. So chapter 21 will be kind of my goal today, is to get up to chapter 21. I don't know how much I'm going to be doing reading wise, but you know, I have some bills I need to get paid in town, and some other running that I need to do. But I'm going to read as much as I can. I'm going to start getting things ready to go this morning, and hopefully I will have time to read. And I think it's going to go fairly quickly because, I mean, this font's pretty big. This is a YA book, and so the font's fairly large. And honestly, like, I've said it before and I'll say it again, that as long as I get really, really invested in a book and I'm really liking it, they can go really quickly. You know, it doesn't matter if it's 400 pages, it doesn't matter if it's 200 pages, and it doesn't matter if it's like 600 or 800 pages. As long as you're invested in the book, you can really do a lot of damage in one day, and you can really read quite a lot. I learned that especially with John Gwynn's writing, that his books are kind of intimidating because they look really long, but once you're invested in that story, you don't want to put it down. And so they go really quickly after that. So anyways, I'm going to start getting things ready to go, and I'm going to start reading this book today as this Yule Ball prompt, and I am DNFing and going to probably unhaul The Last Christmas in Paris. So anyway, that's my update for you for now, and I'm just rambling at this point. So I will check back in with you once I've started this book and give you kind of an update on where I'm at and how far I get today.
He rather took to the idea and suggested that I might be the one to write such a thing. I laughed at first, but by the time we were having to settle in, it made perfect sense to have a woman write about the war. I said I would sleep on it.
Hey guys, so it's now Saturday, and I didn't update you at all yesterday because I didn't really read it all yesterday. I barely started Heartless Hunter. I made it up to page 14, and that's the extent of what I read yesterday. So I have some making up to do today. My number count for today is 158. I subtracted the 13 pages that I read yesterday. So in total, I have to read 288 pages today, which will put me right around the 300 page mark if I make it that far today in Heartless Hunter. So that's my extent of an update for you. I didn't really read yesterday. I was doing things in town, getting things done that I needed to, and then we just came home and hung out with my family and had dinner. And then I started to read this, and I was exhausted, so I went to bed. So that's the extent of that. But I am going to pick this one up today. Hopefully, I might have to backtrack a little bit with what I read because I know I was kind of falling asleep while I was reading. But I'm going to backtrack a little bit, I think, in this, and I won't count that towards my pages, but I'm going to read this today, hopefully make it at least a good chunk of the way in, and hopefully it'll go fairly quickly because I need to catch up on some pages. But that is the extent of my update for you as of now. It is right now 11:13, and I have not read at all yet today. Things have just... This weekend's going to be wild, so we'll just leave it at that. But I will try to get some reading done, and I will try and come back and update you once I actually have something to say about Heartless Hunter. Good morning, guys, and happy Monday. So I have been a terrible vlogger this weekend and a horrible reader this weekend because I did not accomplish most of my page counts. So the last time I checked in with you, The last time that I checked in with you was on Friday that I needed to read 143 pages. On Friday, I read a total of 13. So, actually, I think I already told you that, now that I think about it. So anyway, Saturday, I was supposed to read 288 pages. I didn't quite make that, but I did better than I thought I would, I guess. I ended up reading 165 pages out of the 288 that I needed to make up. And then Sunday, yesterday, I was exhausted. My daughter hasn't been sleeping very good at night, and I've been up a lot with her. So I was just so tired, and so we just kind of had a really lazy day at home. And so needless to say, I read a total of 109 pages. My page count that I needed. Sorry, let me backtrack. So Saturday I was supposed to read 288 pages. I read 165 of those 288. So I had to add on 123 pages to Sunday. And my number for Sunday was 191. So 191 plus 123, my total number of pages that I was supposed to read yesterday, Sunday, was 314. And I read 109 pages. So I have 205 pages to add on to today, which is a lot, but I will say for myself, I will say this. My number for today was 59. The lowest number I got out of this entire thing is on my last day, and that is 59 pages. So 205 plus 59 is 264 pages. So it's doable. It is absolutely doable. Today is the perfect day for this. Whoa. Today is a perfect day for this. It's snowing out just a little bit outside right now, and it's 7:24 right now, so I have the entire day that I could just binge read. That 264 pages. And actually, I'm not off to a terrible start. So keeping track of my pages as I go, because what I do with this, when I finish a chapter, I count how many pages are in that chapter, and then I keep track of it in a calculator. So already so far, I have read 38 pages, and a little bit of an update for you. I am still reading Heartless Hunter by Kristen Ciccarelli, and I wasn't sure about this book at first. I felt like it was very, very slow to start. It took me probably about 130 to 140 pages before I finally started to get invested in these characters and their situation, what was going on. So I felt like it took me quite a while to get into it, but I am invested now, and I'm really curious to see what's happening. I heard somebody say, and I don't remember if it was Eleanor Breeds or if it was somebody different, but I heard somebody say with this book that, like, with the enemies to lovers, usually there's some kind of a corruption with, like, the fact that Gideon hates witches, but that's not the case with this book. His reasoning for hating witches is absolutely valid, like, totally understandable. You can't blame him for hating witches as much as he does because of what happened to him in his past. And I really like that in this book as well. And I like Rune's understanding that she doesn't agree with it, and she just wants to help people and help as many people as she can because it's not their fault. Like, not all witches are evil, and not all witches use bad magic or whatever. Like, it can absolutely corrupt you, but not every witch is that way, and I think that's a big part of her outlook in what she's doing and trying to save these other women. So I am up to chapter 47 in this. I am 326 pages into this book, so I definitely will be finishing this today. I was hoping I was going to finish it yesterday, and then honestly, like, I started reading it, I read like a chapter, and then I was so tired that I had to close it, and I had to go to sleep for a little bit while my daughter was sleeping. So I didn't end up finishing this yesterday, but I will be finishing this today as part of that 264 pages. And like I said, I am enjoying this. I don't think it's going to be 5 stars like A Fate Inked in Blood was, but I definitely am enjoying it. And I'm really excited to see what's going to happen in this last like 70 or 80 pages, and potentially see what happens in the next book when it comes out, because I believe it comes out in February. Like right after Valentine's Day, if I remember correctly. So that's kind of my update of where I'm sitting at right now. I want to try and get some B-roll of the snow outside because it is really pretty this morning. Just really small flakes and just a real light snow. But it's pretty, and like I said, it's a perfect day to just kind of cozy up and read. I have my coffee in the other room. My kids are on their way to school. And so yeah, that's kind of like my extent for today. And now I'm just gonna we had not really a busy weekend. My husband was doing some reloading, and he went out shooting and stuff like that. But we've had a pretty just kind of mellow weekend. Is that cool, bud? We had a pretty mellow weekend, but now I need to kind of catch up, and I need to get back in with it with the reading, and so that's what I'm planning on doing today. So I'm going to start in on this, and I will come back and update you once I finish this, give you an update on how many pages I have left to read, and my final rating for Heartless Hunter by Kristen Ciccarelli. Okay guys, so it is a little while later. It is now 10 10:41 and I officially finished Heartless Hunter. I really liked this. This was more of a new adult type of book, which I don't read a ton of. I've said that before. But I really enjoyed the dynamic between Rin and Gideon. I got a little bit, I don't know, I kind of rolled my eyes a little bit with all of the like miscommunications and stuff at the ending. But overall, I did really enjoy this. I ended up giving this 4 stars. And I'm excited to see what happens next and what happens with Gideon and Rune and their friends. And so I will be continuing this series when the next one comes out. Like I said, I believe it's February that it comes out. And I really enjoyed this. I'm really glad that I read it. And honestly, like I've heard so many good things about this book that it just kept catching my eye. And so I'm really glad that I read it. So what I had left of this book, I started this morning. I started on page 288. I was 42 chapters in, and reading until the end of this book ended up being 117 pages left. So with my calculator, so if we do 264 minus 117, that means I have about 147 pages left to read. And honestly, I only have 2 books left on my TBR, and then it will be time to pick my next set for bingo, which is fantastic. This is exactly what I wanted. So the 2 that I have left, well, I have to watch The Homecoming, which I could honestly do right now with the snow outside, and just, I could totally do that. But I have this one. But the books that I have are The Christmas Pig by J.K. Rowling, which is my middle grade, and Wolf Winter by Cecilia Ekbach, which is kind of a historical mystery kind of book. I have had this one for a long time, and I'm needing desperately to read it, and I don't know what to think of it, and I don't know how much of a mood I am in for it, because I'm really in that fantasy kick right now. But I do need to try it and see if I can read it for this prompt. But I think I am going to go with The Christmas Pig. I have 147 pages left to read today, and honestly, I would love to be able to check another book off my list. I know this one's going to go really, really quickly. Because it's middle grade, it is also has a little bit of illustrations in here. And I'm gonna try it, I think. This one is, how many pages? So this book is 271 pages. Thank you. So this book is 271 pages, so it's not very long, and I think I'll be able to get through it fairly quickly because of the fact that it's middle grade. And I don't know a ton about it, but honestly, like, that's not a big deal. And it's very Christmassy, so I need some fun Christmassy type books to keep me in the Christmas spirit. I am ready for Christmas, and at the same time, like, I'm completely not. I need to do Christmas shopping still, We haven't gotten our Christmas tree yet because we always get a real tree. So that waits until like a couple of weeks before Christmas. So here in the maybe next weekend we might do that. So honestly, next weekend we're probably gonna see about getting our Christmas tree, which I want to get that on film for you guys as well, because it's always so much fun. We have a Christmas tree lot, or a Christmas tree cutting area just down the road from our house. So it's just not even 5 minutes down the road, and we can go and walk around, pick out whatever tree we want. Usually our thinking for the tree is to try and get one that's like right around our height, because my husband is 5'6" and I'm like 5'4"-ish. My husband's like 5'6" and I'm like 5'4". So our thinking is usually it's a nice sized tree when we get one that's about our height without being like insanely tall. We have nice tall ceilings in our house, but our very first Christmas that we got a Christmas tree, our very first house, we got a tree that was so ridiculously tall and it was so heavy. We were both pulling it so far through the snow back to the truck, and it was a lot of fun. It's really fun memories, but like while you're doing it, it was just miserable. We were so tired. We were so done. We were so sick of that tree before we even got it back to the house. So usually what we try and do is pick a tree that's right around our height, and that usually ends up working out really good for decorating it and whatnot. But yeah, so we still need to get our Christmas tree. I need to get out Christmas decorations because I have yet to do that. I was thinking about doing it today, but honestly with it snowing outside, like I don't want to carry a box up from the shed in this snow at all right now. So I'm avoiding that. I should have done it yesterday, but oh well. So yeah, I think I'm going to pick up the Christmas pig to finish off my pages. And if I just so happen to read this book in its entirety today, that would be even better to finish out this vlog. And so yeah, I'm gonna get started with this. I might put on a Christmas show, or maybe I'll just keep watching YouTube and Bookmas videos. I have no idea yet. But yeah, so I wanted to come on and update you. I did finish this one and I really enjoyed it, and I gave it 4 stars, and now I'm just going to be anxiously awaiting my sister to read it as well, because she has this one. She doesn't really know anything about it, but like she kind of wants to go in blind, so I don't want to spoil anything, but I'm really excited for her to read it as well, so that way we can kind of talk about it and what happens and what we think is going to happen, and that's always a lot of fun. So I will sign off for the time being, and I will come back if and when I have another actual somewhat cohesive update for you guys. Hey guys, so it's now 12:20. I started Christmas Pig by J.K. Rowling. I'm 36 pages in, and I don't like it at all. So far what's happened in this book, this little boy, he's like 6 years old, and he has this stuffed pig that has been with him since he was like 2 and has been like his constant companion. And this pig has been through the ringer, and it's been through his parents getting divorced, his mom getting remarried, and a new school and a move and all these things. Well, his stepsister, Holly, is a bratty teenager and gets mad at him for things, throws the pig out the window of the car when they're driving down the road. This kid goes hysterical, completely hysterical. He's kicking the driver's seat, screaming, crying, throwing an absolute tantrum. When they get home, he continues with that tantrum, trashing his bedroom, throwing a complete fit, and all they do is just leave him there. Like, he's throwing trash cans at the windows, hoping the windows will break, and just completely throwing a fit. I'd beat this kid's ass if he was doing that over a stuffed animal. I don't care what the circumstances are, something like that. I would beat this kid's little butt. That's ridiculous. That is a complete overreaction, and that is absolutely unnecessary. And at this point, I don't want to keep reading it, and I don't want to spend my entire day hating this book because I don't like it at all. The writing is very flat. It's very dry. I don't think I'm going to read any more of J.K. Rowling's books other than these. I haven't liked anything else. I tried Casual Vacancy, and it was the same thing. It was dry and boring, and it was just like a small town drama, and I didn't like that. And now this one, I thought that middle grade would be like her niche, that, you know, that's where it would be at. And like, I don't even want to continue this at reading 35 pages into it. I think the artwork is beautiful. Like, I think the artwork in here is just gorgeous. But I have no interest in continuing this right now. I don't know, maybe I should just stick it out. I don't know, I'm debating on this or switching to this, but this is like gigantic. I need to read these. I need to read these because my sister finished out the series, so she sent me the last 3 books in the series to read and annotate for my dad. And we'd like to get it to him by Christmas, so honestly I should do this. And I could binge read this like today and like the next couple of days. But this is on my TBR. So what do I do? Honestly, I think I'm going to DNF this. I don't want to read it at all. I have no interest in reading it, and it's going to take me a long time to read because of that. So I'm going to DNF this, and I'm going to switch to, this is Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. This is book number 5 in this series. It's long. I mean, it's 870 pages, but I'm going to read this, see how far I get today, and it's not what I had planned for this video at all. I was hoping I'd be able to read The Christmas Pig and finish it, but you know, I think my daughter has it in the other room. I read The Haunting of Aveline Jones for Halloween, and it is a middle grade. I was hooked right from the beginning with that book. I really enjoyed it. This one is not that. It's not happening. So I think what I am going to do, I think I am going to switch to Harry Potter. Most people know what Harry Potter is about. But I think I'm going to switch to this. I'm going to finish out reading, how many pages do I have? Like over 100, just a little bit over 100 pages. I think I have like 112 pages that I need to read in this. But I'm just gonna start this, and I'm gonna read as much as I can today, and we're just gonna call this good. So let me get into this, and here in a little while, once I hit that 100-page mark, which is gonna be, once I get to chapter 7, I'll have met my requirement for today and finished off all of the pages for this week. Once I do that, I will come back, I will wrap things up, and maybe I'll give you like a final total tomorrow morning of how much I actually read in this, and kind of be like one last final extra day update kind of thing. But I'm sorry guys, I just can't do it. Like, I've been really enjoying the books that I've been reading for the most part for this vlog, and I don't want to force myself to read this right at the end of the year, right before Christmas, when I don't like it at all, and I don't care about this kid and what his temper tantrum gets him for Christmas time. So I'm not gonna do it, and I would much rather read a series I know that I love and kind of start prepping for getting this ready for Christmas for my dad, if possible. If I could finish the last 3 books and get this for my dad for Christmas, that would be fantastic. That would be the goal. We started this project a year ago. We gave him the first book for Christmas and have been doing the series since then. My sister finished the books, and now I need to get them done. So that's, I think, what I'm going to do. I'm going to start this one, and I will come back and talk to you guys here in a little while, let you know how far I've made it so far. And yeah, so I'm sorry that that's 2 books now that I have not continued, but it's just, what's the point, you know? What's the point in reading things I'm not enjoying my time with when I've had a 5-star and a 4-star, and well, a 5-star and 2 4-stars otherwise for this video. I'd rather read something that is going to be 5 stars, and I know that it's going to be 5 stars, and I know that I enjoy it. I'd rather read something like this than reading something that I think at most, I think right now would get a 2. So I'm going to switch things up once again and swap out my prompts for my Santa's Little Helper / middle grade book for bingo. The snow has stopped for the moment outside, more or less, but I want to get out and do some more throws, either today or maybe tomorrow. I don't know. I need to pick out some more books though, so I'm probably not going to include that in this vlog. I'll probably do a separate TBR vlog type of thing again for that. But yeah, so I'm gonna get off of here and I'm gonna go start Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. Good morning, friends. So it's now Tuesday, the 10th of December, and I am here to finish off this video. So I ended up reading 288 pages yesterday is what I figure, because I read the last 117 pages in Heartless Hunter. I read 35 pages in A Christmas Pig, and then I read 136 pages which is the first 7 chapters in Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. So I just wanted to kind of do a quick recap. So we started out the week with A Fate Inked in Blood by Daniel L. Jensen. I read this one and I gave it 5 stars. I absolutely loved it. And I'm very, very excited for the next book to come out, which I believe comes out in May. I don't remember the exact date, but I can put it somewhere on the screen. So I started out this one, I loved it, I gave it 5 stars. The next book that we read was The Santa Suit by Mary Kay Andrews. This one was really cute, I gave it 4 stars. And, Fate Inked in Blood was for the prompt The Wildlings, which was a Norse-inspired or Viking-inspired book. And so I did finish this one. For the Santa Suit, I used that for the prompt of Snow Globe, which is to shake it up, read something that's a little bit out of your comfort zone. I thought this one was going to be more of a cozy mystery, and it kind of was, but it was also more of like a literary fiction, a little bit of romance in there, and I thought it was cute. I don't know if it's one that I would reread, because I think it's kind of one of those that you read it, you experience it, and then that's kind of it. But it was really cute, and I gave it 4 stars. Next, for my Yule Ball prompt, which is a book set in a different era, I started Last Christmas in Paris by Hazel Gaynor and Heather Webb. I read the first 100 or so pages of this and I wasn't really into it, so I DNF'd this one. And I picked up The Heartless Hunter instead by Kristen Schigarelli. And I finished this one yesterday. I really enjoyed this. I gave it 4 stars, and I'm excited to see what's going to happen in the next one. It had little things that kind of reminded me almost of the Vagrant Gods trilogy by David Dalglish, because of just kind of the questionable morals of things. And so it kind of made me think of that one, which I really enjoyed. And I'm really excited to see what happens next in this series. I believe the next one comes out like February 18th, I think. Again, I'll put that on the screen here somewhere for when it actually does come out. I'll look it up and know for sure, but I am excited to pick up the next one, and I did enjoy this one. Like I said, I read this one for the Yule Ball prompt, which is a book set in a different era. And finally, for the prompt Santa's Little Helper, which is to read in middle grade, I started A Christmas Pig by J.K. Rowling, and I did not like it at all. I read the first 35 pages and I had a big flashing no going off in my head. So I did DNF this one and decided to swap that out with Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. Like I said, I read the first 7 chapters of this, so I'm 137 pages into it as of right now. Obviously, I'm not going to finish it for this video, but that's just kind of the way that it worked out. So as of right now, this will be the book for that one. I will continue reading it in other videos or like on my own time or whatever, but this is the book that I'm going to use instead of A Christmas Pig for that prompt. And so as of total, I read 1,288 pages this week. That's really, really good. And this wasn't, I didn't feel like this week went as well as the last time I did this in November, but I'm still really happy to see how many pages I actually can get read in a week. So next week I do have plans for a spinner wheel, picking some things out for me, so stay tuned for that. I actually started filming for that yesterday, so I'm really excited for that. And if you want to check out any of my previous videos talking about this bingo board, I will have my December TBR linked down below, so that way you can check that out if you are so inclined. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, subscribe down below, and I will see you next week with some more reads. Bye.